Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. What a game it was. Final 34-37 Eagles win over the Bills. I like the way we won against the Chiefs more than we won today. Because there was just so much allowed yards by the defense. And we just won in better fashion way. I mean, we allowed so much points to start off. And it's just, there's a lot of frustration I have on some of the play calling. I don't want to get too much into it because, again, we won another game that honestly we should have been winning. We should have won in regular time. In my eyes, there's a lot of defensive play calls and offensive play calls that I don't agree with most of the time, dude. On what we're doing, we need to be better at play calling. And there was on defense. I'm gonna start off on defense. We had a lot of missed tackles today. A lot of being faked out, on certain movements, on what players did. Like, just run up to the player and tackle him. Don't try to be a hero and, try to deflect the ball with it. Just go up to the player and tackle him. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. There's a lot of third down conversions today that should not have been converted by the Bills. They should have been stops. And then there was a fumble, interception, on their offense that I'm just like, Jesus. We start off with the first drive, let's throw it downfield 3 times. That's some of the shit that frustrates the shit out of me. Let's start off the drive, throwing it downfield 3 times, and yet throw it out. I don't get it. I don't get it, gentlemen. I don't get it. Why don't you try moving the ball? Instead of just, okay, let me throw it down the field 3 times. And then you do the same. I mean, maybe might not have been the same pass plays, but they all ended up in the same result and being thrown outside, out of bounds, resulting in no movement in yards. Basically 3 downs that were they're wasted downs. You don't even get the first down. You don't even get a yard. To begin with, we stopped the Bills in incredible fashion on their first drive. Then we go 3 and out by throwing 3 passes outside, out of bounds. It doesn't make sense to me, dude. It doesn't make sense to me. And what really doesn't make sense is, I believe that we stopped the Bills one more time, and it's because of our defense. At the beginning of the game, they were playing really good, but we had Fletcher Cox in there. We had Jordan David. We still had decent players because players were going down today. I mean, our linebacker went down. Fletcher Cox, defensive end went down. Defensive tackle Jordan Davis. They went down today, and we're losing players on defense. And then from our D-line, which is very important aspect of our defense, stopping the run. They're the ones that really get us those only allowed 60 yards per team rushing against us. I believe we were close our top rush defense before the Chiefs game, when they rushed all over us. But that was last week. So all that being said, we get the ball on our second, I believe it was in our second drive. Then we start running the football, and we're just running down the field and stuff. Like, Swift, Gainwell got in there, and then we had a tush push to the end zone to get us on the board first, 7-0. And after that, that's where I'm just like, between 7-0 to 17-7. I don't know what's happening on both sides. Mostly on the offense. And I'm talking about play calls and sloppiness execution. You know what I mean? We had a horrible, just It dropped fumble in the gut of Gainwell, who didn't grab the ball when Hurts gave it to him in his chest. And then we had a horrible interception that was deflected. That one, I will say this. I think that interception happened after like 5 or 6 pass plays to only one run. I mean, you can't just drop back and pass it whenever you want. You know, it just doesn't work like that. You can't be predictable. You know, and then we start running and passing, I believe later on in the game. And then what do I see? It working. I see 10-yard runs. I see 20, 16-yard passing catches. I mean, we moved down the field and scored on I believe on that particular drive pretty well to make it 14-17. Doing that, you know, just different plays. Running and passing. You don't need to pass it. And run it once. Because, I mean, that's just not going to work. It really isn't. Now, on the Bills, the other hand, they I believe they had like one or two drives where they passed it 8 times. Just passing. We moved down the field and they scored. And why? Because our weakness is our secondary. I've made it known. You know, our weakness is our secondary. We get lost out there. It's, you know, the defensive play calls of zone instead of man, single safety cover. Like, all that shit comes into place when you're just playing zone all the time, and Josh Allen can just be like, boom, or run for the first time. So that's something from the defensive coordinator to like take a look at, man. Because this was a potential Super Bowl matchup. Like, it really is. The Bills and the Eagles. So, I mean, all that needs to be considered, man. It's just... I mean, if it was the Super Bowl, we would have won, right? But still, you know, like, there's just mental mistakes that Bills made that are self-inflicting that help us win this game, as well as the Kansas City game. Like that, those things cannot happen. We got to start winning ball games. Okay, we need to. This is the time where we need to win. They said that we clinched a playoff spot. Well, congratulations to the Eagles. Hopefully they did. But you know, this win, this film, it needs to be studied, bro. I mean, it really does. Like, there's still a lot to work on in this team. There's still a lot. There's still a whole lot. And I'm talking about, you know, defensive players, offensive coordinator, and defensive coordinator need to take a good look at this game, man, and the way we won this game. The Eagles are 10-1. I believe the Niners are next. Hopefully I get some bets in, bro. I know I got some bets for Dallas, and I believe they're after San Francisco. Yeah. 10-1. Philadelphia Eagles. They were saying today, congratulations to this team, man. I just want to say congratulations to this team. Jalen Hurts, getting it done at the end. The first team, dude. This is a fun fact, bro, in the NFL. The first team to lose the Super Bowl. And come back as the number 1 team and be a 9-1 team in the history of the NFL, dude. The first team to do it. The first team to lose the Super Bowl and come back as the number 1 seed and 9-1 record. So how about that? Now that we're 10-1, we're basically marking those books. That it hasn't happened since 1991. I was 1 year old, guys. 1 year old. That was 32 years ago. So just keep that in mind. I will see you guys next week. I just want to say a shout out to United. talking high school football now, for such a proud season. I know it's tough. You guys, lost against Austin Westlake, who was the school. Fun fact: Nick Foles, Drew Brees. So yeah, I just want to say congratulations on a proud season for them. Their season is over now. They lost in the playoffs in the third round, but they had such a tremendous season. Penn State won, I believe, 42-0 versus Michigan State. I believe they're still in the playoff. We'll see how that goes, and I will see you guys. Don't forget to follow your boy next week for the Niners and Philly at Philadelphia. Peace out, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. One love.